All over the world, natural gas is increasingly being used to replace oil as fuel. Gas has better long-term availability as it is more plentiful than oil. On top of that, it is cheaper. It is also cleaner, produces less CO2 and less pollution. In the UK, this trend is being supported by the British government, specifically to encourage the replacement of diesel oil by natural gas as vehicle fuel. The gas is methane, and it can be either fossil fuel natural gas or it can be biomethane made from renewable sources such as organic wastes. For a cleaner world, biomethane, quietly establishing itself as the world's most environmentally friendly fuel. Naturally, it can be stored and transported in two forms: compressed natural gas, CNG, or liquefied natural gas, LNG. The vast majority of gas is stored and shipped as LNG. This is because it's much more efficient to store, as it takes up less space. The current method of transporting LNG from the point of supply to the point of use can be improved upon. Normally, LNG comes from two sources, either by liquefying gas from the national grid or from abroad. Imported LNG starts its journey in a liquefaction plant in countries such as Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Here, a bulk LNG carrier loads the gas and then travels with it to the UK, where it is offloaded at the only port in the country that has road tanker loading facilities. A cryogenic road tanker then takes the liquid gas, drives with it to one of the many gas vehicle refuelling stations in the UK and unloads it, returning every time to the same single loading bay. This is a very difficult operation which requires skilled operatives and expensive specialist equipment to balance the pressures, temperatures and flow rates. It also takes an unnecessary amount of time. Our system dispenses with these issues by using smaller, lightweight storage tanks. After being filled with LNG in Qatar, these storage tanks are placed 4 to a container. They are then shipped to the UK, where they can be unloaded at any large container port in the country. This saves them having to go to the only port in the country with road tanker loading facilities. The tanks are lifted out of the containers and placed into dollies that sit in 4-slot stillages. They are then collected by a flatbed van and taken to refuelling stations up and down the country. These refuelling stations have their own 3-slot stillages. 2 of these slots are filled at all times with a full tank and a backup tank. Once the full tank is empty, a flatbed van arrives with a full tank which it places in the empty slot. Once this is done, it collects the empty tank. The empty tank is then taken away to be filled with alternative cargo and returned to the docks. The main alternative cargo that these tanks are filled with is seaweed, as it is used to feed the camels in Qatar. Another alternative cargo is clean drinking water. This water would replace the current system, which uses reverse osmosis treated seawater in nearly all the countries from where the LNG is shipped. This new method of transporting LNG is faster, cheaper and much more efficient. This all results in happy customers and happy camels.